back for the featured apps segment, and today, as we mentioned earlier, we've got Nirav Shah from 2Increase, and he's going to tell us a little bit about 2Increase. We're going to ask him some questions and whatnot. So, Nirav also has a background in NAV and Business Central as well. So, Nirav, tell us a little bit about yourself.
We've been if you might, sorry, jump in. Full disclosure, we know Nirav for a while. We've worked with him for years, and as you mentioned, very, very, aware of features and functionality within Dynamics NAV and now Business Central. Mm-hmm. So we're excited to have him here. And I gotta just say, this is now may have to rename the podcast.
Rename the podcast
from a shot of Business Central and a beer to a shot of Business Central and bourbon and a beer. That's right.
That's right.
So special treat. Welcome, Nirav.
Thank you.
What'd you bring in, buddy?
So I brought in a Weller. So this is from the Buffalo Trace Distillery. They have this bourbon called Weller, and it's actually a similar mash of Pappy's. Have you heard of Pappy's?
Sure.
So very similar.
Pappy Van Winkle?
Pappy Van Winkle. Absolutely very hard to find bourbon. So I bought that in for you guys here to taste.
Nice.
It's winter time, so weather's getting cold. So this is a wheated bourbon.
Okay.
Right? So wheated means it has to be at least 51% corn.
To be bourbon.
To be bourbon.
It has to be 51% corn.
Yep. And then on top of that, it has to be aged in actually new charred barrels.
Oh.
So it have to be new, right? So the difference in whiskey, they'll reuse barrels from other spirits and age their spirit in there to make the whiskey. In bourbon, it has to be charred and new barrels.
Ah, okay. So maybe like a Canadian whiskey.
Yeah.
Like Canadian Club or Seagram's or something.
Exactly.
Those might use used.
They could be used bourbon barrels, basically, and
it.
charred barrels, and they'll use it to make whiskey.
Nice.
So here's an interesting thing, right? So all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon.
Yes.
Heard of that before, right?
Yeah.
Is that the question you asked me?
And I got a stump question here. Here's one for you. Here's one right back at you.
All right.
Although you gave us the answer.
I did give the answer. Yeah.
So I have to ask you: are all pilsners lagers, or are all lagers pilsners?
I think all pilsners are lagers.
Yes,
Is
very
that
good.
All right.
Pilsner is a type of lager.
Okay,
That's right.
Yeah.
So thank you for making it easy on us and not challenging us with
No
bourbon
problem.
versus whiskey.
Yeah, no problem. So this is actually a very smooth bourbon. You probably tried those on, the usual suspects, right, from bourbon standpoint. But this is actually a special one because it's actually harder to find. This bourbon, it's on the lower end of the price scale, but when it comes in stock in Binny's or anything like that, it kind of goes right away. Within like 24 hours, the batch is gone. So this is the Weller Special Reserve wheated bourbon.
Now I understand that at Binny's, which is where Michael and I go and pick up our beer usually,
Regulars.
a huge selection there.
Yeah.
I understand at Binny's that they have mailing lists, actually email lists, where for their best customers, they'll let them know when they've got a case or two of a select bourbon in.
Right.
Are you on the email
I'm
list?
not on that list.
Nope.
Nope.
Not yet.
I'm not on that list. No.
Yeah. Okay.
I have their number on speed dial though, so I'll call them when I know when they're getting a shipment.
Find out what's
What's coming in. Yeah.
Part of the morning routine.
So now you have something to shoot for, right?
Yeah, I do.
How do you get on that
How do you
list,
get on the
right?
list? Yeah. So sounds pretty VIP-ish. So I might have to start buying more bottles from Binny's. But this is actually one of my favorite bourbons, and wanted you guys to try it.
Yeah. No.
Now, full disclosure, we're not drinking it neat. And
No,
it's supposed to be drunk.
Yeah,
neat,
supposed to be
right?
drinking.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
that's fine. Get chastised.
I got enough here on my chest. We're good.
But it is good. It is good. I only recently started drinking bourbon more.
Yeah.
Appreciating it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this is very good.
Yeah.
Very
excellent.
smooth.
Glad you guys like it.
Yeah, thank you for bringing it in and expanding our horizons.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We welcome all types.
Yeah, there you go.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I've been in the NAV channel, Business Center channel, since about 2012, implementing NAV, working with Ken and Michael at Solution Systems for many, many years. I've switched over recently to the ISV side, working with 2Increase. 2Increase actually is a pure play ISV in the Microsoft market. They make add-on solutions for all Microsoft, basically the Microsoft platforms, which is AX, F&O, NAV, and Business Central. So we have solutions, product portfolio around both of those platforms, and we've been doing it about the last 20 years or so. So our solutions are implemented all over the world. We're a true global ISV. Customers in 45 countries and about 2,500 customers worldwide.
Wow. Been around long. I remember years ago, back when people still printed out like paper documents and things, a catalog, a 2Increase add-on catalog for Dynamics NAV. It was like 100 pages thick. I mean, it was there was a lot of add-ons.
We still have many of those around today. We've scaled back a little bit in terms of what we bring to market, but a lot of them are supported internally for the customers that do have them. There's always ideas that we want to bring back certain products and stuff like that. But this is a space that we know really well, the dynamic space, both on the F&O and the Business Central side.
Yep. So what's your role at 2Increase?
Yeah, excellent question. So I'm basically in charge of pre-selling as a solution architect our industrial equipment manufacturing solution in the U.S. and Canada markets. So we have, we sell globally. We have, people located strategically. The vertical that I manage is our industrial equipment manufacturing. That's a number of different solutions within it. So I like to kind of call that our advanced jobs management suite in itself. So we have advanced jobs management that extends the standard jobs functionality in Business Central. And within that core product itself, there's a lot of other modules that connect to that, such as a module that we call manufacturing integration, which is very popular for those true make-to-order, engineer-order, configure-to-order manufacturers that need the full manufacturing capabilities and also need that full costing and forecasting and planning abilities from the job to manufacturing, tightly integrated. We provide that bridge in Business Central within jobs and in manufacturing. We also do on the other side, on the service, we have a service integration platform that integrates directly back into jobs as well, and resource management, kind of like a time clock entry system directly back into jobs. So really it's a one-stop place for any of your job functionality that you need. So Business Central, although it has jobs, it has manufacturing, it has service, they're kind of in their own silos in a sense, and what we do is kind of bring it all together for like a pure project manager or anybody in management or different players in the organization that look at jobs and need access to the job to see different aspects of what's happening. They could see it all within the job at one time. And that's where we make it really easy for the end user, really, really intuitive, kind of go to one place. You have your own planning engine called the Jobs Planning Engine to plan all your job items, look at all your manufacturing costs coming in real time, look at your outstanding manufacturing costs that you expect to get in, do budget to actuals to any open purchase orders, see what you've already received in, and then also on a WIP recognition standpoint side, when you look at what you're actually recognizing, not only do we have the ability to run WIP on the standard, you have your usual suspects, right? You have your percentage completion, you have your completed contract that actually are going against the budget. But we have taken that functionality one step further, and where you could actually do that against a forecast. So you could manipulate, kind of look at, what am I forecasting to come up here in the next quarter or next month before I run WIP, and look at the cost accumulated against that forecast and run your WIP process.
So kind of fair to say what you've done is you're taking the standard Business Central processes, manufacturing or jobs or service,
right,
and you're adding a layer, so to speak, of more advanced functionality and integration between them all,
exactly,
to provide a more
a clear picture. of exactly what's happening, because these jobs are full-scale jobs, right? A lot of different activity happens within the job, from a cost-driving perspective, engineering.
What are some examples of customers? Like what types of industries or customers would get the best value out of this?
Yeah, so really true make-to-order, engineer-to-order, precise engineering, where where they're making custom components for customers. So aerospace is a very good, a perfect fit, right? And then you could have an IEM, industrial equipment manufacturer, people like John Deere, you have Caterpillar, these different type of companies. You could have automotive. We have some customers on the automotive side as well. We have on airplanes, those Wi-Fi units on airplanes. Those are our customers as well. So really, anywhere across the board, if you need the ability to manufacture, do project accounting, project manufacturing within Business Central, we provide that one-stop solution for that.
Pretty nice. Now, your solutions, are they offered on AppSource or?
Yeah, absolutely. So our solutions are IEM. So we offer IEM on AppSource. It's a complete end-to-end solution on AppSource that we offer. It's been listed on there. We have a lot of good information on the different functionality points with our solution. We have brochures on there. And now, not only that, we have a few other apps on the Business Central side as well. So To Increase on the Business Central side is really known for their food solution. So we have full end-to-end food solution, a vertical, and we have the IEM solution, which is a full end-to-end vertical that we offer. And within that, I kind of briefly touched on jobs, but we have quality management, engineering change management, which are also kind of pieces that are always missing in Business Central, right? And we saw that there's a nice positive customer feedback to provide those solutions back to the market.
Sure. Yeah. And are you, everyone seems to be going to the subscription pricing model these days?
Yep.
So is that true for To Increase also?
Absolutely, yeah. We also are a purely subscription-based model for almost all of our solutions now. So on the Business Central side.
Yeah, it seems like I think even Microsoft still offers the ability to purchase if you run on premise.
Correct.
Licenses, but I think everyone, especially 2020, we've seen like a huge move towards the subscription. There was maybe even in 2019 still hesitancy amongst a lot of people of moving to that route and would prefer to get a license.
We've had I've just recently actually had some conversations with some customers that Microsoft offered the perpetual licensing, so we had to work with them accordingly. So we understand how that works. So that's we understand. But we do mainly do subscription. And we try to push.
That's how it works.
Ken, do you want to get into AppSource and the licensing and all that good stuff?
Are you looking forward?
I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it. Yeah. But it's up to you if you want to talk about it.
Well, we. In terms of AppSource, I will just share. I don't want to drag Nirav into this too much, but from my perspective, one of the difficulties that we've had feedback on it, and I would say I'm in agreement with it, is that there's when you go on to AppSource and you're looking for a solution, there certain apps offer free trials where you can install it in your environment and get a free trial. Some of them don't offer a free trial, and they say you can contact them for more information. But the pricing, I think what brought this up in to you is the how do you price it? And the reality is that different companies price their apps differently. Some are per user, some are per module, some are per transaction, and there's no universal standard within Business Central or at Microsoft or on AppSource of how you're doing that. And if I can
it's hard to
get on my soapbox for a minute, there's no standard provided by Microsoft to say, hey, here are the options for how you should price your app. You have to pick one of these, and then we'll handle the transaction of that license and the payment process for you. So from our perspective as a Business Central partner, that's been an issue. It's like, how do we can launch apps up on the App Source,
Right. Yeah.
but how do we monetize that? How do we charge people for it?
Right.
And right now, every partner is responsible for building their own licensing and payment processing
Right.
platform
Yeah. Yeah.
for their apps,
Yeah.
which has kind of made it difficult for people. So I don't know if you can if there's anything you want to share.
Yeah, no,
in terms
you're
of
right. It's a
increase.
challenge. It's definitely a challenge a lot of ISVs face right now. It's basically self-policing, right? It's peer-to-peer policing, basically. From an ISV standpoint, are we following best practices? Are we
Right.
are we doing what's best for the customer and best for the industry, right? And I think a lot of people in the same spaces to increase. We're still trying to learn and make sure that we're following the best guidelines from Microsoft, and at the same time we're providing our pricing our product that equates to the value it's providing to the customer, right? At the
Right.
same time, so definitely challenges there, but
Yeah.
what we're able to do from a to increase standpoint is our app, our IEM app that's on Business Central, is part of the Embed program. So it's a unique program from a standpoint, and really to the end customer, it really is no difference from you get a BC environment from a SaaS environment, right? From cloud. But what this means is that we could control kind of a mixture of licenses basically from our standpoint.
Okay.
So we could say if you're going to have X number of users that don't need manufacturing, but you need X number of users that do need manufacturing, we could kind of configure a unique pricing model for this customer because we're on an embed, because of the platform that we're on with Microsoft. We're one of the strategic partners with Microsoft from an ISV standpoint. So from that side, we've been lucky that we're able to work with customers closely to provide the right pricing that makes the most sense, not saying a blanket statement saying just because you want to use our app, every user has to be charged X amount. Right, we know that's not the right model, especially in an app like ours, because it touches so many different places in the solution. Jobs is a pretty robust, in-depth solution in Business Central. So we understand that, and from our perspective, we've kind of come up with a model where we could satisfy the customer requirement from what their customer actually needs. But it's a challenge from other ISV perspective that is yet to be solved right now. That we hear it all the time, right? We have some products, our quality management and engineering change management. We know that how do you police that, right? And how do you from a customer license perspective? So all that stuff will be worked out, and we're working on that constantly, day in and day out. But we feel the growing pains right now.
Yep. And I think the key thing is that and I'll put it this way, I think it's important for us partners to continue to put that pressure on Microsoft to make sure that there is a clear path forward
Right.
for everyone, and not just for our sake, but for the end user's sake, right? You want it to be simple and transparent.
Yeah.
So whatever we can do, I think, to get to that point where it's easy for people to understand what's available, and then to actually execute it and get that solution deployed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's ultimately, I think, everyone's goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Mike Morton's the new GM, pretty much, of Business Central. I know he's heard about this a few times.
Yeah. You probably we help companies implement solutions. You guys are more developing some of these solutions, so you probably have more direct line of communication and access to the Microsoft development team than we can. So I won't ask you to share anything more than maybe you should.
Right.
But at least on the podcast.
Anyone want another drink?
Yeah, so that brings me to my next question then, which you kind of answered, I guess, but is pricing something that you can give our listeners now, or would you prefer they work with their partners?
Yeah, like I said, I think we're unique in a standpoint that we have a full end-to-end vertical solution what Microsoft considers. It's not just a solution you just add on. It really does satisfy the need for a true make-to-order job shop, custom make-to-order environment type of customer. So with that we could work with the customer closely to enable to bring pricing that's gonna that pricing itself will add a lot of value, right? We want to add more value than what actually the customer is paying, and we've kind of figured out what that model is, and we work with every customer to understand what each user is doing effectively in the system.
Right.
So we could
So it's kind of like an all-in price per user to say, okay,
Correct.
here's what you guys need, here's
Correct.
what you do.
Yeah.
Here for Business Central plus all of our
Correct.
our add-on value and
Yes.
IP.
Correct. Yeah.
Intellectual property.
Yep. Yeah.
Here's kind of that all-in price
Right.
per
Exactly.
user or however you want.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, we have some leeway there. And ultimately, who benefits here in this type of engagement is the customer.
Right.
Here, because it's not
It's
right
very
off the shelf
specific to
type
them.
of pricing
Exactly,
that they would get.
All right.
Anything for him?
No, anything else that you wanted to?
Well, maybe you could tell us where we
Bring
can
up
find out
or-
more information about 2 Increase.
Yeah, absolutely. So 2 Increase, we have 2-increase.com. A lot of information there. I'm located out of Chicago, close to the podcast folks here, Solution Systems. So would definitely could reach out to me at nirav.shah@2increase.com. I'm sure my email will be on the
We'll put on the
podcast.
show notes,
Yeah.
But I'm
Let's wrap it up. I got 2 rapid fire questions
Yeah.
here. We'll wrap it up here. So you're sitting here talking to 2 Bears fans.
all right.
We're in the
Oh, God.
It's middle of football season.
You did see the last
here.
game though, right? So just be careful.
It's a winning season. Yeah.
I know, but
I'm in the middle of an important question. Please don't interrupt me. I didn't hear you. So are you a Bears fan or do you root for another team?
So I'm not a Bears fan. I'm a
Okay.
Cowboy fan. So
Cowboy,
Cowboy
another
fan. Yeah, and
Cowboys
I wouldn't
fan.
say they're any better either. I say that
Any better?
with the pillow on my head right now.
You pick up the bag.
How dare you!
Right?
I mean,
What
but
is
Dad
it?
going down was I was just hurt that day. I was really hurt. I think I was
Yeah.
crying for like 2 days.
Yeah.
It wasn't helping.
So chalk that up. So we got two guests
Yeah.
here, Cowboy fans.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to pre-vet them before we invite anyone else on here again. Make sure they're not Cowboys fans before they come on again.
You need to use Power BI.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And then I think I know the answer to this question already,
Yeah.
but I got to ask this anyway. So you find out that you have an allergy to alcohol, but you find out that there's one drink that you can still drink without any effects of that allergy. What's that drink? What are you going to be
It
drinking?
would be this bourbon.
Right there,
Really?
I knew it.
It would be this bourbon.
Oh,
That was easy.
man.
Yeah.
That was an easy one.
Yeah, it would be
He
this
likes
bourbon.
it.
Yeah.
This bourbon specifically, or you're open to really any high?
No, actually,
any
this
bourbon?
one.
This one right
Yeah.
here.
This is one I could afford.
Best bet for the dollar.
They don't let you ever go into that locked room at Benny's
Yeah.
where you got to
Oh,
get
yeah.
special access into there? to
I
get
haven't
in?
You
had
got
the
your own
special
locker?
access yet, but I've seen it from outside.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming out and joining us. It's been
Yeah.
fun, and we
Yeah, we
enjoyed the
appreciate it.
bourbon.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Thank you for
so-
having me. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, next up, we've got we're going to deep dive into the integration between Microsoft Teams and Business Central. So, thanks again, Nirav.
Thank you.
You'll be sticking around.
Yep. Cheers.